The first track's a diamond, a gleam as the shooting star. The second is an emerald, green as my groovy car, by Volkswagen sent here to speed me through this art. The third track's a ruby, red as a new scar. The fourth track's a sapphire, a gleam in your dream of reality. And if the fifth track's a pearl, it seems appropriate to call the sixth an opal psychedelic, in glowing light embellished, and apt to call onyx the brilliant song number 7. If the idea is that each of these songs is a gem, then the 8th track is surely a topaz. The 9th is red as the beryl, that soulful track, and the 10th, you're gonna love the 10th. It's an amethyst jutting from the plinth. Writing in blue ink on white paper, magic as the Negro and his white savior, fast as these kicks as he fights his neighbor, dividing the Sith with a lightsaber, waving as the phallus, standing as the palace, playing a passage of Plato's first concerto, mangling reality at the Grateful Dead show, out of tune as the writer repeats his line. These runes we decipher at the scene of the crime, written in this powder with a finger, privileging the power in his skin, as falling from the tower and its twin, we Shakespeare to the people this blue calculus, repeatable until proven valueless, because its multiple meanings were unstable, drunk as the deacon punning a fable, writing a tale tall as these factories, rising great as the fall of green gravity, irony crazy, this nonsense he spat for free. I should be paid to embalm all these whack MCs, this cat underground as the skeletons, rather unsound as the letters he prints, noble and brave as a billion galaxy clusters, his soul as the snake slithering, algae covered, unstressed by those current big mountains, arrested for versing in Pound's defense, the Robert Lowells who still dominate, as God's soul couldn't fill the halls of hate. It's too powerful, too powerful, too powerful, evil is too powerful, his mind made of things external. These vibrating strings a blur in the photo, staying abreast of the melodrama, the pain and death of his fellow rappers, but staying apart from the crowd as thorough, playing his part some await as Godot, sending an ethnographer to heaven. Fresh as the watermelon, precious as water for the Fremen, his ending that they marked with a red pen.
Sitting with an orange cat, listening to torn gat, crack a bit of hickory, the rap left in Wilbury, or the tap for victory, tragedy, epiphany, one last dance with wizardry, deliver me some biscuits please, soca from the 70s, fennel in my rhubarb, celebrate the recipe, accidental 2 parts, with 1 part passion flower, 1 kangaroo fart, extra bounce lunar, flying over Stuttgart. I'll take you with me, but sometimes I take it too far. Test flight with a loose heart, we tighten up the loose parts. Transcendental whenever we're hitting the ground up too hard. Scratch in the black art, the upsetter was too smart. I wanna make dub and then move to where the moose are. Lacatic and accolade, rap for the sake of rap's sake. Little baby Katie did, laughing on a grass blade. Picture plants a favorite, elated by the grace of it. Devouring flies, salamanders and the neighbors' kids. Don't desecrate the bog and the process that created it. Thousands of years so that peat moss should stay in it. Rhyme smooth and cold, so the people could skate on it. Replace all the pavement with gardens by the acreage, or fill your basement with some water and go bathe in it. Microphone placed in a cave where some vapor is. Now plug the cable in.
Like cocaine in old age, impelling my bold-faced, worthless, simple talk, circling in the litter box, foreplayed these metaphors. That day we read no more philosophy, giving head, bodies twisted in sex, underwhelmed by the noises, the smell of their coitus, in hearing an evil and vice, the spirit of Jesus Christ, holding your hand as you rap, to talk for the span of a track, the bombast of his raps, this contract with his stands, a God obeying his sons to follow rain with the sun. Call it faith or a hunch, this awful taste on my tongue, squalid as naked lunch, winding the tape with his pun, inking his freestyle signature, his thinking senile or immature. It's not what you'd expect, and this is shocked to cathect. Odd as the text, when what you want is what you get. This vase full of red, this insoluble mess we read as the Batman lore, as good at rapping or more. He woofs as the Labrador. Woof, woof as the Labrador. Woof, woof as the Labrador. Epic adiosto, in proto-nostratic his texophono, as the rose so romantic this pomo knows, his truth so close to valid he knows the code though. This ghost in the attic is voce soto, this local practice to take the ghost home and bone her on the mattress, hot cocoa. Cold if you have it, this mug of cocoa had the poet tacit, rhymes invisible, abstract upon the taste buds. I'm a river cold, as the math god is made of unlistenable, as the track y'all's afraid of in the pimp's clothes. I stand tall and made up as the pimp's hose. We band together playing music simple, and as sad as the A student, enrolled at Harvard for the logic and mathematics, trolling Nardwuar with his caustic analysis, poet and martyr, mid-passage into the past with no pharmacare. His cancer advances, I'm a jump cut, a redaction of significance, the punk in love, subtracted as a citizen muttering one love. But the man wouldn't listen, he says shush up, as he hands me my weapon in the helicopter, descending among treetops instead of honor. We defend the cunning peacock imperial, as the pageant of power green and breathable, as the cannabis flower, because power and flower are a perfect rhyme. This album, this Adversaria Scripta, it was recorded on unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, Squamish, the Musqueam, spreading dissidence through throughout his vast nervous system, that internet which has outlasted journalism, giggling at YouTube kittens in lieu of honesty, simple as the truth of this human comedy, panicking as they burn all our sacred books and strap the king down to earth for the patient's good, dirt poor. He sells his rap tirades, dessert foods, in the self-satisfied face of government. Yes, I wear the orange shirt, one with them, united in a four-letter word, love again. We fight in this war for the earth, cousins of death, dreams arising from oral versing, spray painting these slogans for parliament, their race hatred, unspoken as the bargain. My middle name is David, for more than one reason, as Blake creative in more than one medium. My other name is John, but I digress. Andrew, David, John, Mbaruk. Why so many biblical names? Drinking his Diet Pepsi, insane. His thinking so wild and messy, but it's great. This inkling of the divine or semi-divine. These diamonds set in sterling silver, rhymes meant to disturb the listeners, misreading Animal Farm as anarchy, speaking to the capital from a balcony, regal people, these debating queens, diverging re what a painting means, glittering pleasure displayed on the screen, twittering as their avian scene, rapping to make the internet bots proud, random as his schizophrenic thought cloud. Are diamonds not a rapper's best dame, fiery hot as the tavern aflame, sinking in as sad news, slowly sinking in the sand of poetry, present via quantum teleportation, conveying meaning as the semaphore waving, kicking you the ball through enemy legs, committed to the heresy of paraphrase, a literary stylist deploying hairspray, his hair gray, sadly too natural for airplay, I dare say. These hands emitting power via technology as cannibals devour me. Defecating criticism poignant as the stench of an essayist shit drifting buoyant on the Thames. As treading their disgusting water, this breath of fresh air, the loving Father, rich as the pauper yet sober as the author, delivers us home this night our songbirds, twittering as their avian scene, hip to the pleasures and pains of peace. This shit is better than Canadian weed, schizophrenic as the plane over the sea, that neurotextual milk hotel, hallucinating goddesses, dildo impaled.
I didn't ask to be born, I begged the stork. Told him I was the most essential tourist, and my life will be painless, the stencil supports it. We can all make a painting at the pace of the tortoise, but when I step back I feel the hair will win. Find your flow state like you wear the wind. Soon enough it'll be over with. Overrated like sobriety, overrated like drugs. Inadequate ways to chop it up. We explain it away. Went from teeny bopper to going gray without much in between. The boredom was breeding false hunger. I'd get munchetized all summer. I got the fries with this shake, but the booties for duty, and I don't like shit. Why am I always tooting? Head trip so unanimous I can go outside, inside, flirt with myself and call it pride. Get high as I want till the whole world's a psyop. I got sneaky supply for whatever my spy demands. The web got a weaver. Watch my hands between earth and heaven, between barfing and burps. Worthless as a purpose on the surface, a chaos kebab experience skewered by narrative till you think you're a stick and the slivers are charity. I enjoy me simple and airy, the biggest flex I can convey. Even this is tension, I try and keep it at bay. Must be some kind of gator, pure love without chromatic haters. Lines on the face would prove the pleasure down the line. But you've watched Downton Abbey twice. To gray-haired teeny boppers, these words aren't hard. I could have said burning bar.
The taverns of flame.
Taverns of flame. To these gray-haired teeny boppers, said words aren't hard. Could have said burning bar.
But we got the aesthetic criteria. It's the only thing that can really cheer me up. Lonely like it's Siberia. And then you mixed it up with Serbia. You thought you were new, I thought you were dull, still got slurped up. I just eat now soup. I just eat soup now. What, you yodel? What, can you yodel?
I gaze into your soul. You gaze into my soul. It's a mutual education. Worker whistles. The fact of these purple pills, this candy served chilled, his root beer float, these hands who were killed by Bluebeard's ghost, enjoying your prayer and gossip, employed as a whaler, the prophet, lost among cargo, late to this knowledge, posits a particle staying agnostic, shaving the mustache anonymous, this Nazi surrounded by swastikas, as racists pose in the picture, tagged in the photo with Hitler, on the gaudy boulevard dancing, an artist pulled apart by magazines, and whacked as Joe Pesci, a Picasso to many, veiling his brown pupils. We gaze into the veiling his brown pupils of God, the soul of God. We gaze into God's soul through this mutual education. I gaze into your soul. Yeah. I'm something you don't see enough. as American actors under the cold sea befuddled these careless sea splashers to this poetry loved as ovarian cancer. Say no to these drugs at your own peril, ye rappers, this animated clay, acting in the play. Agamben he reads on the roller coaster, this novel people rotoscoper, drawing the dream of the soul of a soldier, like a cop on TV till the show is over. This commercial breakage of words into phrases, absurd as Drake is, made in God's image, vacationing in Nairobi with a painterly imagist named Eli or Sophie Biambili Tafadhali. He speaks in Swahili, this black humanity, easy sneezy his rap malady, employing Ana Kolutha, random as true love. Dismissed as a pair of torn socks, this system of care and forethought, the ritual marriage of immortal gods, invisibly carrying your thoughts, mystery, metaphor, and plot, this libertine tearing a corsage, this wizardry's scary warlock, sprinkling the arid floor with water, thinking as America's forefathers, of cities as metaphors for progress, this deliciously read foreign project as committees of senators, gossip involved in the art of telling the truth, lost in dark velvet rooms, forgotten as Marcel Proust, the lodger whose farts smell like poop. You win the debate in one round, who infiltrate the underground, illiterate maker of thunderclouds, deliberate anger and love aloud, intruding into your consciousness and extruding the obvious, the message we send from the Thane to his artillery, the deaths that stem from this aimless archery, red paint from an artery, these bolder color blends, soldiers for the government, jogging through your village, rocking your physics, and moonwalking over illiterates, this cruel lie to the patient, and cool libation, insanely cold and pale, this tasty foaming ale in a tall glass, we collect as a small tax, thrown into poverty as false staff into the Thames, and they all laugh. You don't really care about the folks who prepare your breakfast. You joke where despair is more decorous, in brilliant pink for the funeral. If rivers can think, it behooves us to know. That's why we study nature as Whitman, in love with the names and their systems, structural, post-structural, post-structural, structuralism, post-structuralist, post-structuralism, post-structuralist, post-structuralism. Dead as the sleepy father, red as a Miri Baraka, as the Volta in the sonnet, he, like the Travoltas of Scientology, a Dianetics of facts and logic, the dialectic of rapper and audience, incarnated in one poet and critic. This bold to your timid, in art made as the boat for liquid, I joke upon this metrical effluence of flux, This sentence made of actual stuff. These bicycle wheels white as snow. This winter wonderland. The rapper's funny dance. Yes, you may hate this Drake. Made to placate the states, tranquilizing the public with this great ape display patronized by the public. Their pain he takes to the grave. Now, tell me about a dream you had. Any dream. The fates draw the plot as a flowchart. These strange frogs forgotten by Noah's Ark. Aliens watch the father who smokes his cigars, playing God whose character glows in the dark. These Blade Runners defying Albert Einstein, leaving behind this shattered timeline. These false memories cowards hide behind. Velveteen, these rappers' rhymes in his mind. Gripping the gun as the guardian, irrelevant as love in this parliament, entering fun into the bargain again. This evolution of dumb under Darwin, these stars aloft in the ocean above, warm and soft as the ghost of a fuck. This is the last lonely straw. This is the path I've chosen as Faust. Watch me follow Mephisto, invisible, literary, and literal, wandering wobbly through Canada, predicting an end to the parabola with the style of Nathalie Sarraute plus Kafka and the griots of Africa. This clockwork orange, conforming to fate as the syrup to the waffle form. No drama, no activism, no black lives, no admission, no melanistic aphrological, only Hellenistic astrologos, adrift in your Greek grammar, lit as the Green Lantern, eyeballs red as Santa, eyefalls as Niagara. I'll never think positive as these menacing optimists encircling this knowledge with the purpose of a Gnostic sophist in gravid solemn rhyming. The pastor's God surviving, an afterthought as science. After the loss of Brian, reality loses its reality, distorting the moon as these black trees, sapid as the sea, we crash as the galaxies. Those particles you predicted unknown, marginal in the curriculum, lost in the fog's ambiance. This dominant ressentiment, as if artists can't sound proud, as if the heart isn't counting down, rattling the cages, throwing rats into the rattlesnake pit. These bad actors named David, jesting finitely it turns out, and getting high learning aloud. These freestyle peregrinations, reaching for the eye care station. Sonic Youth on MTV mishandling the culture. You've gotta respect these Senatus Consulta, the youth upon a red steed dramatic as the sculpture, too hot for sex, these redacted pics of vulva, as two gods in bed we inhabited the ultra, as humans are saved or damned sniffing the sulfur. His unlimited phonotexting plan, this telepathic affair with so many of his stands. be they homosexual, trans. This post-sexual philosophy, cyborg in my ideology, entering their class with rhymes born of poverty, and expelled so fast that his mind forgot its memories. Remembering the past as a fly on God's television screen, this black soul at 37 had control of his wordy pen to rap alone with furry friends. Ask your local clergyman how to crack the code of current trends and stand close to the curtain's end. Sophisticatedly dripping into your ear this liquidated kingdom of Shakespeare. Lost at sea, lost with no sea grammar. If language is the house of being, this patient on the couch of reason, spraying from his mouth this weirdness, creates another house for his spirit, a home whose roof is celestial speech, glowing in tune as the melodies. Another rhyme I shout from the kitchen, and what's outside the house does not exist then. No pointing outside of language, we're locked in then, lifting the joint to the fire courageously, softening the system, mixing his words in free association, peaceful as the playful wind, or raging again, a hurricane again. These wolves who huff and puff, this language resilient as the doves love, cocaine and pills again, and another drug, reading Shakespeare still and wondering what all this early modern English means, illiterate, painting his pink lips green with lipstick, and spitting this rap as it sinks into the Pacific, risen in this Atlantic undrinkable liquid. At sea, lost with no sea grammar, a Jesus with no manners. Watch as these flames I spit flicker as the names in the dictionary. The stars we borrow aloft in the night, our marble morals or sculpted in lime, commandments for the layperson, standing on the stage turning invisible, turning this literature cold as winter snow, in which I print an O with my big toe, that godly vowel the hollow owl's hoot to human ears. Lyrics tattooed as the souvenirs, forgotten in the brain as it rots in the grave, falling in hate as God with his slaves, speaking a tempest and rocking the waves. At sea, lost with no sea grammar, a Jesus with no manners. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. Berries wallow in jelly wobbly as his drunken entry into the lobby. Between two falsities sandwiched the truth. This evil sophistry can't be improved. He lives where comedy stands up for the blues, and everything is cannabis infused. This spiked punch waiting in the bowl, like his undulating soul, defining infant as that crawling character, wild and innocent, falling through America, defining larvae as incomplete, and biting sharply with little teeth. The egg's definition, feminine noun, this maker's decision to let the chicken out, hatching from the dictionary, these bars faster than literary, his green car unthinking, defining caesura, that liminal space is clearly a little clearing for thought as critical race theory. Gregor Samsa, woke as the green beetle, this Thor with 3 sequels, pious as the father, this Halloween evil, crying at the altar, this gravity of their tears that fall, in time as the pallbearers forget me completely. This fist through the glass, this alarm undone, kicking your ass and harming your sons, taking your Xbox, microwave and fridge, slaying your pet fox and taking a piss in your sink, the mad poet and thief on this ink black cold sea. Yeah.
Doug Ford wins an election again. His brother's corpse gets an erection again. Of course, we live in a perfection machine, and whatever we see is our happy history. I'm stoned, and I'm feeling soft in the head. Let's go to another diamond shot, where the diamonds shed from the sky firmament, and the migrants dead, but her spirit lives again. Let's ride right through the mind's dead end. Sunshine shines in the heart sermon. If time can be made to stop.
Yeah. A landslide victory for Doug Ford. Baptized in liquor, we pop the corks. The red spray of wine from sheeple and entrails, divining new heroes' journeys. These yellow brick red herrings, purple and green, these doubly dead parents, sea and sky, connoting infinity in peacetime, unfolding as graffiti. Yeah, it's the last track on this album, Adversaria Scripta, the exciting conclusion to this odyssey, this poetic odyssey of Andrew Mbaruk, the poet. I'm a jeep stuck in deep truth, these teeth sunk into sweet fruit, Alright, the album is over. You should listen to the album again and again and again. This last track, it goes well with the first track. You can listen to this track and then the next track is track 1.